kind of given our 2 cents on how difficult it has been for them, not only bringing in a new player at the beginning of this series, but also the fact that they're the coach standing in. But that's it for the kind of the yammerings and chats about predictions, as we are going to be into Nuke now. Pistol round underway. And Simple, searching for an early opener, could get taken down. Needs to be a little bit less risky there. I think OG, they've certainly got the individuals to capitalize on this.
Oh, I don't think you can ever tell Simple to beat. Take less risks. That's not in his repertoire.
No.
Adam B, great double kill outside though to give OG this lead.
Ooh,
now to look to capitalize on it. Nexa is going to be aware of this, but it's easy to be aware of it. You've got to do something more about it, and they are going to look to actually exploit somewhere else rather than just leaving Nexa towards heaven to wait at his fate. They're repositioning.
Yeah, honestly, I feel a little bit bad for Andu, because obviously he's joined OG, and Andu's actually had loads of impacts. But I think in nearly every conversation about this roster and about this team, I feel like there's always going to be one person who's kind of first out of everyone's mouth. But I think Andu has been a really good addition to this roster. I think he has been able to provide a lot of kind of stability here, which is always going to be really important. And obviously, kind of Prime Tap's Nexa, they've got kind of a good synergy about them. They are having impact themselves. So I think this BC game roster, I think, again, it's just something where you've just got to give it time. But this pistol rounds look really good for OG. We talk about it time and time again, especially on a map like Nuke, where when you win the T-side pistol, you just build yourself such a good foundation. You're just able to kind of springboard the rest of your map off of it. But nice find from Andu here with the Julies. Going to be emerging out of hut in a moment's notice. The issue is, there's a great setup scene here. Andu taken down by Adam B, and Crizzen can find Kakanito. So OG, they will...
Unlike you, who sort of ended up dodging BC game into every series, I ended up sort of watching all of them. Andu, sort of for the first 5-6 series for this BC game team, maybe even a tad longer, he was outperforming Simple. And I think Simple was looking really, really inconsistent. But Andu sort of bought a little bit more of that. And Andu's still very young. Andu's still got a huge amount to prove throughout the rest of his career. But it does feel like, to me, we've just seen Simple... Look, he hasn't actually been playing on a team consistently for a long, long time. And it feels like maybe he's just getting back into that groove. While we've still got players like Andu, who I'm looking forward to seeing them grow. This is just going to be an easy round, though, for the T's, of course.
Yeah, nothing major, nothing, no real issues. Yeah, obviously Simple hasn't really played, kind of... I think of that first time when he went from kind of Na'Vi, played on Falcons. I think that was where it was kind of the idea that Simple's no longer kind of consistently playing Team CS. But a great second round for OG. Certainly what they need. Again, just dealing with the eco quite comfortably. We are saying is, okay, well, the few maps that we have seen have looked really good, but it does seem like Nuke has been kind of quite a general ban for them. And the fact it's in display here, there's got to be some risk about that. Nice find from Simple. Let's have the scout in play here, so certainly can make things work. Just going for pot shots here. Nothing connecting, just the MAC-10 in the hands of a few on OG, but obviously with BC game, it's a 4v4. They haven't got much utility remaining, and without the defuse kit, things could get just a little bit difficult when it comes to any ideas of a retake or anything like that.
I am back in the server as well. Had a few minor issues on my end, but here I am. Yeah, you sort of mentioned, is there a minimum I'm sort of expecting for BC game? Not particularly. I'm expecting them to be able to make Mirage competitive regardless of what this map is, even if it's 13-0. I still think the players on this team are experienced enough and good enough to turn things around on Mirage, but enough of that. As down towards the lower side, PrimeTaps does fall. That's Crizzen finding, and this 3v3 has some intrigue. All three BC Game players are rotating from the same spot of ramp. They can take a lot of room very quickly off of this.
Yeah, fast dive in there from Simple. Switch from the scouts to the Mag-10. Smoke towards double doors. Searching for the bomb here. Andu, nice find onto Crizzen. Just the tap of the bomb from Simple. Nexa gets another, and they're aware. They've got a good idea of where Spook is. Nice find from Simple. And that is the round going the way of BC Game. Excellent stuff there. They deny OG's winning streak. Obviously, the finances for OG, very good.
Really good teams on Mirage, and they have been on some very good form. And a lot of these wins that they've got have been very comfortable. Similar statement really for OG as well. So I'm just so excited to see map number 2. But for this one, I think this is going to give us a good gauge of how much work can BC Game do against a team like OG.
Kakanito, he spotted one. Kakanito gets 2. That is insane. It seemed like Spook had the drop on him, but with Kakanito getting the first of Crizzen, it then kind of forced the repeat. Nexa can find Adam B. PrimeTaps finds Nikados, and it's Aristos in a 1v4. Excellent from BC Game here. Look, as I mentioned before, we don't have the kind of the best of indication of how things are going to go here on Nuke, because they've only played it twice in the last 3 months. Obviously, it was a 13-7 victory against Spirit Academy, yet they lost 13-3 to Betboom. So, clear that Nuke isn't
the server who has more top-tier experience than players like Simple and Nexa. They have really seen it all.
Yeah, exactly. And it just allows for players like Andu, like PrimeTaps, Kakanito. You know, they're kind of under the such an experienced leadership. OG, though, it's just a half buy now. Crizzen has saved a little bit in the bank, so potentially for the AWP. The money could look really good for BC Game here. Kakanito will find one. Nice nade, just softening Crizzen. Nice frag there onto Andu, but Nexa on the bomb site can deal with Aristos. Simple. Elevated angle here, we'll get 2. Searching for the final in Nikados. They have spotted him as well. Keeping casualties low is surely the game plan, but Kakanito and everyone apart from Andu would have been able to invest in an AWP. But decision has been made for BC Game to kind of keep Simple on the rifle for the time being. Potentially just looking at OG's money and maybe a thought of, okay, well, they've looked to play slow the last few rounds. Maybe a speedy play's incoming, so let's just keep the rifles in play. But nice find from Adam B. Andu, he's got a lot of information here. He's hearing all of these steps. We're seeing this double rotation down ramp. Obviously, the issue with double rotating down ramp and not a player in the vent is it gives so much continual control here to OG. It's not as though they needed to really fight heavily to kind of take that space in secret. That's why they've got control towards both double door and single door. But Andy will find one. Simple's heard the steps here towards double doors. He's going to be in a little bit tough position here, but a little bit worried about ramp now. Reposition here. These steps are just such an easy indicator. It's minimal time. It is going to be this play now down to the lower side. Nice find from Simple. Takes down Adam B. Gets the reload in. Nexa finds one, but Spook taking down PrimeTaps. It leaves Simple in a bit of a tough scenario for now. Drops a molly on the bomb site. Molotov to force Spook into the smoke. Spam coming through. Always taken down by the molly. Second found for Simple, and now it's a clutch for Crizzen. 1 versus 3 here. The bomb on his side, but Nexa does have a kit. Limited utility here for BC Game. Just the one flash on Andu, but they need to tap the bomb. They need to force a peek, but Simple will be able to take him down. 7-1 start here for Simple. With it being a half buy in the next for OG, or at least the...
Yeah, still just that half investment from... OG, Spook exposed by the nade of the smoke, has been tagged down. He's still going to be able to cross down towards Secret, but with just 29 points of health to play with. Important kill for Crizzen. The only rifle in this round needed to have that impact. Simple is going to rotate in. And Crizzen could get taken down here, but instead turn his sights towards A. It's man advantage still. Aristos gets a double with the tech.
Yeah, great finds here from Aristos, and now Simple feels under pressure from Heaven. Realizing a late flank could come through at any moment. He's going to be backing away. He slipped the net here. Simple. Oh, he's not heard. Spook giving him a bit of a chance there, but yeah, bit of a weird one. Either way, though, these are the type of rounds which I really feel like you can see the kind of, I guess, inequalities in a team's ability on each map, right? I think if you're losing to half buys, if you're losing to kind of rounds in which you really shouldn't. I know we had Krizen's AK in play, but it was Arazdos' Tech 9. He gets a pretty quick double as well. There should be a trade. It's been a bit of a longer drawn out round. We've mentioned how OG have been pretty decent with finding opening kills. We're a minute and 20 seconds into this round, and yet no damage, or no real damage. Gakanito and Nexa have only taken damage from their own HE grenades, but Flashbang coming through towards Ram. Positioning of Prime Taps. He finds Sue. Simple peeking in the Molotov to find Adam B. And it's a 4v2 scenario now. And with OG, the fact they don't have much time, they're just going to have to bomb their way down towards the B bomb site. But Gakanito will find Spook. Molly towards double doors. Nikados is on the orb. The difficulty is, there is so many opponents close by. Planting the bomb is an impossibility. 5 seconds. They're aware he's on the bomb site. They're going to take him down after time. Surely this has got to be the game plan. BC game. A level of restraint that I wasn't expecting there, but it's Prime Taps. It's a lovely double. And obviously Simple rotating in. They have been getting the opening kills. They have been kind of, I guess the protocols have been in place. You know, they're not losing those opening fights. They're not in a kind of early disadvantages. It is going to be this play towards outside. The smokes will fade in about 5 seconds time. So there's not going to be a real issue. They are going to be able to get down secret, no problem. Nikados looks as though he wants to have a slight look, but I think Krizen's just said to him, look, why are we mollying? They don't actually know that we're here. Obviously, that's conditioned on the fact that lobby isn't taken. BC game, obviously, they do have that space. Kakanito, just the one found, but so much information. There won't be an early rotation, though, so OG, they can get the bomb down now, and Andu going to be slinking his way through secret. Simple rotating down ramp will find Arazdos. Nice trade from Spook, though, so a 3v3 retake. Prime Taps. It looked as though he wanted to go for a bit of an early fight, but realizing, well, I am actually alone here, and Nikados, he can find Andu. Prime Taps goes for the swing, but perfect display of the AK versus M4 argument. Both hit the headshot, but Spook comes out with the frag. And, well, we asked for it. Where's the OG full buy versus full buys? Round number 9 is where they put that first one to their name. So, important fourth for OG. It seemed like BC game were getting a little too stable on Nuke. So, for OG, certainly to help them with their endeavors here.
Yeah, and there's nothing particularly fancy from OG in that round. Look, it's just outside smokes. It's just a tease pushing.
BC game in the dark.
Deep space towards outside has been taken. Arazdos finds Kakanito. So there is the opening kill once again. Got next one, Andu on the bomb side. Prime Taps feels like he has to get aggressive towards the lobby. And he is in quite an aggressive stance. In fact, all the CTs are. Arazdos could be under pressure here.
I like this from BC game, though, especially with the minimal time. I know there's 40 seconds, but we're going to see OG. They're going to take their time to try and get through heaven and obviously apply enough pressure from elsewhere. But it's clear, because lobby's been taken, Nexa doesn't actually need to worry about this. He is just holding to heaven. We'll get one. The bomb's dropped into the bomb site. Nice find from Krizen, though. Takes down Andu. It's Prime Taps and Simple to try and clutch this one up. Oh, Prime Taps. He could get 2 here. Gets the first. But Spook able to punch in the digit in time, keeps himself alive, and will find the frag. And now Simple making his way up the ramp. Just going to be a save, surely, for Simple. Don't believe he has a defuse kit. But that could have been really costly there. If Prime Taps was just half a second quicker, I think he finds both. Maybe even denies the bomb plant.
Yeah, even Spook just taking the individual gunfight himself, look, it's a lot of risk, but it's a massive kill for Spook to find. Denies Prime Taps, just he would take that space. And Simple, I don't know if he's saving this one.
Maybe won't matter, as OG are playing with a real level of discipline in this round. Just sitting around towards lobby, expecting some aggression. Molly sent from Adam B. Prime Taps close by here. Prison taking space on the A bomb site. Getting a little bit nervy. Andu finds with the USP there. USP versus AK, and Andu somehow will find him with Spook, with Arazdos, Adam B all chiming in. There's not really much the BC game can do. Correctly, they're allowing secret to be taken instead of rotating a player off A down the vent to kind of offer that first point of contact. They're not doing that, but it's going to be this play through B. Krizen gets one, but Spook not only a nice find towards ramp, but doubling down to find Simple. A 2 versus 4 here for Nexa and Andu. Obviously, this is to try and tie the half, but I think we both know there is a very slim chance and effectively non-existent as Spook has just found Andu.
Yeah, Nexa spotted out. OG will be able to walk away with 7. I think when you say a 4-2 lead for BC, if they can have a good start to the second half, maybe there is still a world.
Yeah, certainly a scenario in which they can find. Obviously, the T side won the pistol in the first half with OG. BC Game, it looks as though they've got a great opportunity, but it's Adam B and Nikados. We mentioned how these generally have been the 2 heroes for this OG side, so if there was 2 you want in the clutch, it would be these, but the lack of a defuse kit, the lack of utility, and the lack of understanding as to where BC Game reside is what makes this clutch near impossible. And Adam B, now all alone, his teammate has fallen and information gathered as to where Adam resides. So, nice pistol for BC Game. Obviously, from what we have seen from OG on this map, they've played it 15 times in the last 3 months, of which they've only lost it 3 times. And the heftiest loss was a 13-10 loss, and it was to Falcons.
How important pistols are on so many different maps, whether if you've had a poor start in the first half, do you need to win this pistol, things like that. I actually do think BCG probably did need to win this pistol. I don't think you want to give OG any sort of traction on the CT side and just allow them to post rounds. We did watch OG versus Partisan, I believe the round of 16, OG's first game here in the Proving Grounds. Wasn't a great CT side there from OG.
Game. I know there's a Mac 10 on Andu, but they have got so much more utility. And they can just honestly play as a pack, and it's going to be really tough here for OG. But flashbang coming over, not really blinding. Although Andu was fully blinded, Prime Tap's not. So Simple find there, Molly towards Hell, denying any impact. We mentioned how OG generally look to kind of rotate quite heavily, and Adam B, oh, okay, well, he's gone for the running spray, we'll find, but afterwards, the rest of the BC Game have absolutely annihilated, and Nika knows all that remains. So 8 now secured here for BC Game, soon to be 9th.
Yeah, and as the lead taken again from them, we will see the M4 find 1. Surely not going for anything more here, but seemingly Nikados is going to be having a bit of a look for exits at the very least. Has been spotted towards the first half, then maybe OG sort of streak towards the end of the first half suggested, but so much more intrigue here.
Ooh, nice find from Nexa. I quite like the idea that BC Game aren't shying away for these early fights towards ramp. BC Game, as I mentioned before, they should find 9. There's all upgraded pistols and players with Kevlar here. There isn't. I believe he's been spotted by Kakanito. Maybe not, but let's give that kind of idea. Obviously, with the little jiggles like that, it's actually quite hard for us to kind of question whether he's been spotted or not, because we've got that wonderful little X-ray on our side, so we never really know. Yeah, Nexus had a really good game as well. If you look at the kill disparity, you've got the least performing or kind of bottom frags for BC Game being Andu and Prime Taps with 8, most being Simple and Nexa with 11. So it just goes to show that, you know, the kill disparity, very minimal. Nice find from Simple, though.
Yeah, that's a great find from Prime Tap as well, taking down Larry and Garage. And Adam being Spook, it feels like even damage isn't really going to be something that we see a huge amount of. In a simple round, the T's playing this one slower. Waiting for any fights that come their way. Not overcommitting for anything. Getting a big man advantage before, look, just pushing into A as a team. And a simple one where damage hasn't even really been taken, just 25 points of damage across the whole team. BC Game do find the 9th that we expected. Spook misses chance, won't get another.
This has been a really nice performance from BC Game, though. Honestly, when I saw the vetoes roll through, I was actually quite worried for BC Game.
I mean, maybe just brings one out if Nikados is having a lot of impact.
Well, I think as well, it's not as though Simple's not going to be able to kind of work with a rifle. Very hybrid player. I think we've known that for many years now. But yeah, it's kind of going to be contingent all on what Nikados is able to provide. But honestly, Charlie, there might not be many more rounds for Nikodos with the AWP if this continues. It's a great opener found, obviously, by Andu, and not the easiest of fights, but Bc.Game, they've got the man advantage here now. They can just look to restructure and regroup. But as we mentioned before, OG, they like the over-rotation. They like kind of, I don't want to say the gamble calls, because obviously it's based on information. It's based on kind of the control that Bc.Game have taken. But Crizant, he has made his way towards outside from Secret. He's not spotted anything, so I think this has got to be the indicator that it's going to be this play through B. Flashbang towards ramp. Aristos has got this intel now. Molly's being sent here towards Dark. Ooh, I think that might be a bit of a missed Molly there, but either way, no real issue. Will be cleared. Flashbang coming through, fully blinded a 3. Smoke towards double doors. I believe that was sent by the CTs. Prison just biding his time, but Prime Taps finds Aristos, and already they're just going for the save call. This has to be the game plan. There's no way they can have a look into this round. They don't have enough utility to win a round like this. They've just got 2 mollies and 1 flash. Spook has reclaimed this AWP for Nikodos, but it's going to be double digits now for Bc.Game. Very worrying signs for OG. They're going to go for the investment in the next, obviously, with the fact that 3 players are saving. If they lose that round, it is 12-7, and I think that is kind of just game over.
I mean, when we did see OG play this last time here at Proving Grounds versus Ardzat, again, very slow to start on their CT side there as well, before they eventually did just mount a big streak and close the game out. Prison falling is a far worse trade for OG than it is for Bc.Game. Tons of cash for the T's.
Teams can kind of overcook things a little bit, kind of be far too structured and far too complex. And I think that's sometimes where things go a bit wrong, because that's where you're kind of messing around with the clock. You're kind of looking to get someone so deep, whether it's a wrap through heaven or kind of a really systematic play. Whereas if you just play the simplistics of Counter-Strike, that's all you need. But Aristos, great position here. We'll get one. Gonna drop the flashbang to try and back away. He's got a rotation down the vent. Excellent from Crizant as well. Kakanito needs to get the trade. He will eventually find just the 1 bullet of damage taken from Kakanito. But disadvantaged are Bc.Game, and it's clear for them their only route to success is wrapping through heaven here. But not going to be easy, as Nikodos is close by or posted up now in the CT side. I'd absolutely love to see kind of an elevation up the barrels and down the ramp of heaven, because I think Nikodos would be massively caught out. But again, there's much time on the clock now. I don't think they actually have the time to do something like that. But there's just the 1 defender on the A-bomb site currently. It's Adam B. If these trades come through, or if the opening kill's just found, that can be all that's needed. Adam B, ooh, slight turn with the util coming through. Adam B still going to be obviously holding from heaven. Great second flash. How have they not found Adam B? They just don't clear him, and Nikodos up. They put Aristos in secret, and they put Nikodos towards ramp, just allowing the AWP to hold from there. I think it's a great decision. I don't want to be that guy that just says, well, Aristos isn't just winning those 1v1s and it's creating a lot of issues, but honestly, I think sometimes you have to kind of reconfigure your CT side. If it's not working, you are going to need to change. Otherwise, Bc.Game will just rinse and repeat. Prime Taps, though, he sent some util towards the back of the bomb site. Somewhat certain that Adam B has repositioned. A lot of damage onto Prime Taps, but obviously he finds the kill. Crizant here in main might be under pressure. There's 3 flashes towards outside that they could use to try and send someone into main. Timing looks good, but Simple hits the shot. So now, man advantage here for Bc.Game. Although OG were the ones to get the opener. Flashbang to deal with a player towards top heart. And Kakanito can find Spook from a 5v4 in favor of OG to a 4v2 for Bc.Game. And again, somewhat reminiscent to those kind of early 6 rounds, Charlie. You pointed it out. It was the opening kills being found from OG, but the rounds still looking so comfortable for Bc.Game. 11 now secured. And OG, a real head scratcher of a map.
Yeah, I felt like Crizant did a really good job to find the early kill. Just again, bobbing and weaving through these smoke grenades, catches off Andu early, but Prime Taps, huge skill for him to find. Shaw gets bored down low, but just allows it to be a leveled up playing field, and basically says to the next of Kakanito and Simple, I'll let you play the rest of this round out, and I'll just sort of hold the flanks, hold lobby. And it worked out really well. A lot of individual gunfights being taken. Bc.Game, they are a team that you never really want to give any gunfights to, because very least.
Yeah, obviously, though, it's been a great game from Bc.Game. And obviously, we mentioned that kind of a lot of the names on this Bc.Game roster aren't going to get the same level of love just because of the sheer attention that Simple will bring. But something I do want to point out, I know he's, what, 15 and 7, 15 and 8, obviously. Nice kills being seen, but it's actually been Simple's utility that's been really key. The amount of flash assists that he's got, obviously it was him who sent the flash to deal with the player towards top hut in the last round. I've actually been really impressed with the utility usage. It's clear that kind of Simple said, look guys, I'm going to get the kills, but let me send in the riflers. Let me just be a bit of a facilitator in moments, because it's so important. Obviously, BC Game, they found a couple frags towards outside. They did have a 4v3 scenario, but with the kill coming through there, brings it back level. Space being taken from both Adam B and Nikados, but already Kakanito and Prime Taps have maneuvered out of Squeaky. The bomb on Nexa, and it is here towards Secret, which could be a bit of an issue. Kakanito fully clearing. Great find from Prime Taps, and now this is where Nexa... Is he going to just look to stay stable and let his team go down the vent? Or is it going to be a play up through A? But he opts for the former. I think it's the right decision. Kakanito, it's all about making noise here. It is going to be a play through A. Nikados, he does have time. He will get one. Spook is here on the bomb site as well. Nikados, if he finds the no-scope, things get really awkward. But Nikados, he will find, and Spook can take down Nexa. OG, as we mentioned, the kind of... what that will mean for not only OG in the series, but OG moving to map 2 would be a lot of pressure. A spam from Aristos. Krisen is here towards Garage. Oh, he has been spotted and now just getting spammed away at. Andu can find him through the smokes. A man advantage here for BC Game. Nice flash to force Aristos off the angle. Jumping into main is one, but Aristos can find him. 4 versus 4 now. Spots out another and will deal with him. Trade scene from Simple, though. Sat in the main smoke. Baits out the AWP shot. Nikados tries to cross, but doesn't realize Nikados doesn't shy away from a re-peek. Quite happy to take a risky fight. Prime Taps is taking space towards ramp now, and if Nikados rotates in, might not be ready for him, but... disadvantage to BC Game, and with only 35 seconds on the clock, it's not going to be an easy round for them, especially with how split both Prime Taps and Nexa currently are.
Nexa is now making his way towards ramp. Still yet to have any CTs properly rotated. They have to be aware of this, though. OG have so much space towards outside. A lot of control taken towards A as well. The util does come through, and all the rotations on the low bomb site are gone, so we can get this bomb down.
The door opened here from Adam B. Molly landing there. Quite fortunately for BC Game, there isn't any rotation and retake attempt from ramp. Nice find from Prime Taps, just needs to keep himself alive. Orbshaw baited out, and now Nexa closes the door. Nexa needs to find Spook, but unable to do so. Door open again. Prime Taps has to take down Spook here, but unable to do so. And again, but I'm interested as to why, because BC Game, they've operated with kind of a fairly similar mentality in most of these rounds. Look, we're going to default a little bit, hopefully find these frags, try and get kind of these advantages, and then if we can find that, then we can look for the mid-round calls. But Krisen will find Andu. Prime Tap searching here towards A.
Yes, again, just Krisen playing around these smokes.
Yeah, excellent.
But I also think you have to look at these last couple of rounds. Even the ones that BC Game have lost, they have all come very close, and in all of them, at some point, BC Game did have the advantage. So it is just sort of players like Krisen who can turn the tides of those rounds, even though he's sort of been the first to die for OG actually on a few of these occasions. But yeah, it's just a lot of the sort of clutch factor and the X factor that OG have had that have kept them on Nuke for now. Krisen's position surely overlooked by Kakanito, and it's an easy second for Krisen.
Yeah, it's going to be a play through A now. No utility used. Aristos in a great off angle. He can find Prime Taps. Not the greatest of spray, but he deals a lot of damage to Simple. Simple, he's backing away with Nexa falling just to be the save here. 11-11 scoreline. Excellent for OG. Just got to treat this like a kind of new little mini game. Like, how are we going to play these last 2 rounds? Well, giving up the opening kill, certainly not what they want to do.
Yeah, massive fight for Simple to take. And has allowed all his teammates to make their way down towards the lower site. Spook has just rotated down the vent.
Yeah, the issue is there's just quite a lot of players here. There's 4 rifles. Spook. Oh, timing for Spook. We are going to be seeing Aristos rotate as well. Kakanito having a slight jiggle here or there. Simple checking the vents now. If BC Game make the call to head up towards A, this could be devastating because we've got Nikados towards ramp. Yes, there's just the one defender in Adam B, but he's playing towards second vent, and the issue with that is he doesn't have a smoke if there's a molly. But Simple goes for the peek. Great find from Simple, and they're aware of the player on the bomb site next to finds Aristos. Nikados, missed shot there, and Simple can find him. Adam will take down Kakanito, but there are 4 survivors here. What a triple here from Simple. And he's given them their 12th. Worst case scenario for BC Game. They booked themselves a spot in overtime, but OG, not only did they rotate correctly, they had so many numbers close by as well. Nikado's offering a quick rotation, but even with all of that secret setup, the only issue is if they send a molly to one of these angles, Kristen's going to feel very isolated. Aristos slightly worried about ramp, and quite rightly, as there's no defender. Andu spotted out Kristen, trying to back away now as Kristen. Simple clearing the vents. Aristos finds Andu. Aristos gets a double. Kristen, oh, Kakanito finds 2. How has he taken down Kristen there? It seemed as though this should have only been a trade. Prime Taps looking towards outside, will find Nikados. Man advantage now for BC Game. They are 2 kills away from taking Nuke, and Prime Taps under pressure will find, or be found by Adam B. And another clutch here for OG. Simple holding for single door. Will get the trade. There's enough time to get the bomb down, but will he be able to recognize that Adam B is here? Simple certainly won't. He isn't making the most of noise. Currently the bottom performing player of the whole server, which I feel like is a statement that's very rarely made when the conversation of Nikados is had. Gonna be this play towards ramp. Aristos, I mentioned he struggled, but Andu finds Kristen. Oh, Prime Tap's finding Aristos. It's a 5-on-3 here for BC Game. All they need to do is just group, play together, play the numbers. But Nikado's on the op. He's already rotated down. It's this 3 versus 3. Nikado's in front of the Molotov. Missed shots here, and the AK of Prime Taps can find. We've still got Spook close by, but it's going to be another clutch required from OG. Oh, great find from Prime Taps. What a round from Prime Taps. You mentioned how in previous series for BC Game, you can kind of single-handedly credit Prime Taps for their map victories and series victories. And a moment like that kind of comes to remind us of what else BC Game have to offer.
Look, BC Game had a chance to close out this map in regulation. I actually think I'd be more impressed if they can close it out in overtime as well, because it sort of feels like OG, similar to the game against Partisan, just had a very bad start to their CT side, and they started to get warmed up into it towards the end. I do think just these extra rounds sort of give more validity to really what we're seeing from BC Game. Yeah, they haven't just like
performed, but Nikados, he's taken space here quite confidently towards lobby. Spook by his side, and this is brilliant. Really happy with this from OG. They've looked to take ramp a little bit late in games. Oh, timing could be devastating here, but Spook will find Adam B taken down by Prime Taps at the exact same moment. And how has he been able to escape? Well, Nikado's on the AWP, but Simple gets the trade. Positioning for Spook, forced back again. 3 versus 3 now.
Plains way, the trading is good. Aristos found by Simple. Huge kill to find, and they knew where Spook was. Simple does have the bomb. We'll get that planted now.
Yeah, not going up the ladder. Just doesn't want to be heard ticking in the Molotov. Because right now, he still could have technically gambled towards B. He could be doubling back in lobby. Obviously, he is here in main. Prime Taps is in the open, but behind a smoke currently. Spook is holding the edge of the smoke, waiting for it to fade. Still a lot of utility, but Prime Taps fine.
The AWP in play.
It's the right decision, though. Nikados, it's not as though he's found all too much, but saying that, he takes down Andu. A lot of damage early here. Excellent for OG. Look, Nikados is certainly not going to be a map he's going to look back with any kind of happiness or confidence about himself, but if he can get his team their 13th here, if he can have his moment on the AWP, and they can somehow come back and take this, I don't think there's going to be any disappointment. Obviously, personal performance does take a slight bit of recognition from each player, but the most important stat, the only stat that matters, the victor of each map, the victor of a series. Bit of a split here. We've got Nexa Prime Taps here towards lobby, Simple searching it outside, and obviously towards ramp. Already, we do have Prime Taps, I believe. Could be Kakanito, actually. Yeah, Kakanito under heaven currently. 3 players on the A bomb site, though. It's a nice read from OG. They got the MP9 towards top hut as well, so it's not as though Adam B isn't going to have impact there. Flashbang coming over. Simple blinding plenty. Nade in A main. Molly onto the back of the bomb site. Simple now aggressing. He's baited out the shots, but Adam B can still find Prison. He's the unknown here and finally needs to activate. Prime Taps will get his first, but it's a 2v5. Minimal time. Time could be the biggest factor, and it's Nexa in a 1 versus 3. It's the stick of the bomb from Nexa. Might get taken down, but still surviving. Aware of the positioning here of Nexa. The Molly landing at his feet. Reposition out of Nexa is brilliant. Still on the back of the bomb site. No real pressure, no utility now. And as you mentioned, no defuse kit. Nexa can't get the first, though. And such an impossible clutch. Still, though, OG, they do find that 13. And Nikado's featuring with a double kill.
Yeah, look, it gives... I'm sure we'll see it at some point in this series.
Oh, 100%. If we didn't, it wouldn't be a BC game match. In these last kind of 4 or 5 series, he's always had that magic moment, that it factor about him. And there's the first. Takes down Crisant. We've mentioned Crisant has been found plenty in these opening kills. Simple with the second. And look, maybe it's not the flashiest of kills. Maybe it's not that kind of quintessential, manic, simple moment. But he's found the 2 openers. He's given BC Game such a route to 15. And obviously would lead them with 2 opportunities to close this one out. Kakanito, he's got information. He would have heard the smoke hit, I believe. And just backs away straight away.
Neither the door from Spook will just keep the CT's attention down here towards B. But they've got 2 players on A already. You've got Simple, who can be a quick rotation. Looks like we are seeing some aggression here. Not sure if this is the greatest play from BC Game, but Andu still manages to find somehow. Simple as well onto Spook. 3 kills from him, and it's all on Adam B. Had a good T-side initially on this map. Slowed down a bit since switching over to the defense. But this one feels too far.
Yeah. The tough thing for Adam is he could have caught a good timing to maybe find 2. We'll get the first. Oh, Adam B! Well, he gets a nice double, but Simple with a quad kill.
Individuals. Sometimes that's all a team like BC Game need. Native the smoke. Simple. 3 players are behind this, but nothing spotted.
One towards top silo. Simple needs to be cautious. It's going to be re-peeking, but a great decision there from Crisant just to not face, not fight. Already down towards Secret is 1. Spook, though, can find Kakanito. And
a lot of noise being made here. It is the dynamic duo towards B. Simple and Prime Taps. And Simple into control. Just posted. We'll find the first
shot. Oh, bit of mismovement. Not easy for him to escape out the window. Prime Taps spots the shoulder. Now under pressure. Kind of needs to get himself out of this angle. A nade to land close by. Hasn't done all too much damage at all. Prime Taps needs to just get himself out of here. He feels so trapped. Obviously, it is going to be this play towards B, or at least that's where the bomb is currently. But up the heavens goes Crisant. He loves these little lurks. He loves these kind of late plays. Minimal time here, but lobby's been taken. Nexa has been found. Anu gets 1, and the double. Spook with the trade, though, and they're aware that Prime Taps was down here towards B. A 1 versus 2 for Prime Taps.
Gonna make his way up, Secret. He's still got Crisant in the heavens, and that's such a tough position to handle. Aware of it, but yeah. I mean, Crisant's not going to give up a gunfight that easily. He's going to really force Prime Taps into an uncomfortable position before we see anything of the sort.
Spook's giving up a 1v1 though, and Prime Taps does have a smoke. There's a defuse kit as well. Crisant out in the open, and we see the kill come through. I believe there's enough time. That is it. That is map 1 done. BC Game. Prime Taps just given those